Oh, we have got more Modern Horizons spoilers today to talk about, and some of these cards I think are really going to shake up the Modern format. Welcome back to my channel. I am Mattcaster Mage, and I do make Magic the Gathering content every single day. So if you want to join in on the action and fun with me, hit that subscribe button and make sure you hit the bell notifications so that way you're actually notified of future uploads that I do, since sometimes it's very hard to get shared by YouTube. Anyways, let's jump into these spoilers. So Modern Horizons 2 is really starting to shake things up, I think, and even the market mover videos that I do, a lot of the cards going up are impacted by these spoilers. So we're going to start the first list off here with Dragon's Rage Channeler. Now this is a creature human shaman for 1 red mana. It's a 1/1 uncommon, but it has, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, Surveil 1. So surveilling is, you look at the top card of your library, you may put that card into your graveyard instead. It's got Delirium, which is an ability that we had from Eldritch Moon, if you guys remember playing Standard in that block. So as long as there are 4 or more card types among cards in your graveyard, Dragon's Rage Channeler gets +2/+2 and has flying and attacks each turn if able. Now, that is a really powerful ability for a 1/1 creature. For 1 mana, you can essentially make it a 3/3 flyer and it attacks each turn if able. So that's a bit of a drawback, but nonetheless, that's still a really nice uncommon to get in Modern Horizons 2. Now, this one is hilarious. I laughed when I just saw the picture. Ignoble Hierarch. So it's basically a noble hierarch, but it's a Goblin Shaman, not a human shaman. So it's got exalted just like Noble Hierarch, and it's got the same pretty much abilities except for the fact that you just switch it with a JUND color formation. So you're getting black, red, and green that it can tap for. Really powerful. It's almost like, it's funny because as if JUND didn't need anything more to its toolbox to be a great deck. Now you got something else. I mean, I could even see maybe JUND Zoo decks using this, or create even a more decks. This could actually be the start of more decks just forming in Modern. These are the type of cards that I was hoping would have been in Modern Horizons 1. Stuff that kind of takes cards in the format, switches it up a bit with other colors, and make it more useful for maybe a different tribe, and then you can create whole new builds in Modern. So that is really interesting. We also have a Lotus Cryptozoologist. This is a Simic card, 1 green, 1 blue. It's a legendary creature, Snake Elf Scout. And whenever another non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, investigates. So you get to put like a little counter, and then you can sacrifice X clues. Target opponent reveals the top X cards of their library. You may put a non-land permanent card with mana cost X or less from among them onto the battlefield under your control. That player puts the rest into the bottom of their library in any random order. Okay, so I could see this being played now in maybe a control deck, like a Simic control, but either way, I think this can actually see play. Like, the things that Modern is looking at the most is cards that are low casting costs that have powerful abilities that can help you tutor, and I think that this card will be seeing play. And talking about seeing play, this card right here is one that I just was like, okay, I gotta stop what I'm doing, I gotta make a spoiler video, because this is a card that I use in my Pauper burn deck, and now it's coming into Modern, but they did upshift it to uncommon, and that card is Flame Rift. Yes, Flame Rift, originally printed in Nemesis. Now this is a 2-mana spell, 1 colorless and 1 red, so that's good. So for Boros burn decks, or even Naya burn, or mono red burn really, it actually is easier to cast because of the colorless ability. And you have Flame Rift deals 4 damage to each player. So it's a sorcery spell, so you can't cast it on their turn, but you can still cast it on your turn. And if you're playing a burn deck, this is just another 4 damage burn spell that I think is going to have a serious impact on that deck. Now, the only card right now in burn decks in Modern that do 4 damage are actually Boros Charm, but it actually has another ability. Basically, you can select that, which is the one that usually people end up selecting out of the choices that you can get on that Charm card. But if you think about that, adding another 4 damage spell to a burn deck in Modern, I think it's going to see a lot of play. There's obviously a drawback because it's 4 damage to any player. so it's going to all players, so it's going to deal damage to you as well. But that's the good thing about Boros Burn in Modern, is that you do have a little bit of a trade back because of Lightning Helix being in that deck, so you can gain 3 life as well as doing 3 damage to your opponent. So not bad. I think that card is going to really shake things up in Modern. Now we have Harmonic Prodigy. This is a 1 colorless, 1 red creature human wizard. So it's got prowess. It's a 1/3, and if an ability of a shaman or another wizard you control triggers, the ability triggers an additional time. Now, this is a card that I could see maybe being played in mono red prowess decks. The ability of having extra triggers, an additional time, is very powerful, especially in those builds where you're already trying to be as aggressive as possible with a deck like mono red prowess. So that is a really interesting inclusion as well. And then another card that I thought was worth talking about was that we're getting Greed. Yes, Greed, originally printed in Legends, and we're going to get that shifted into the Modern format right now. Now I'm going to explain this because some people were confused about how this works. They didn't understand that. So what Modern Horizons essentially is it's getting older cards that are only available to be played in Legacy, and some of these cards are being reprinted in this set to be upshifted into Modern. So it's bringing in older cards into the Modern format to shake things up that way, while also printing new cards just for this set. Now, Greed is a 3 colorless, 1 swamp. It's an enchantment, and for 1 black, you can pay 2 life and draw a card. Well, that's very powerful. It's a little expensive for Modern, I think, 4 mana, but I think there can be some utility there. I mean, maybe some builds could find a resource for that. I think it's a really powerful card, and is obviously going to see play in Commander, which it already does. So very, very powerful there. And the next card that I wanted to talk about was the last card. It's a legendary creature, Elder Dragon. It's a rare dragon, a Mardu dragon, called Piru the Volatile. So it's 2 colorless, 2 red, 2 white, and 2 black. It's a 7/7 flying lifelink dragon. And it's got, at the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice Piru the Volatile unless you pay 1 red, 1 white, and 1 black. When Piru dies, it deals 7 damage to each non-legendary creature. So you can treat this dragon as like a board wipe as well, which I think is a really cool ability. Now, it's a pretty high casting cost. In total, you're going to have to use 8 mana to cast it. Is it going to see play in Modern? Probably not. Will this see play in Commander? I think so. It's probably going to be in a few, maybe even Dragon decks, or even just like a nice Mardu build. I could see this card being included into that. Very powerful 7/7 dragon with a great ability. Okay, that's all I wanted to say today. Let me know what your favorite spoiler of the day was down below, and I'll be sure to read that. And with that being said, I will see you in the next video. Being a patron will help me produce more market movers and add to the funds that I will use for my random buys, and also to my coffee fund, because I drink a lot of coffee for these videos. And here you can see a link below in the description that will give you all the tiers and what you get in each tier. So I hope you guys click and think about joining. And with that, I'll see you next video. Think about supporting the channel in that way. If not, subscribe, like, leave a comment, and I will see you again in the next video.